their operations. Join me, Chip Flory, weekdays at 10:06 on your Ag Information Station, WTIM.
Your information station, WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show, which is brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman, and joining me in this segment is Chief Deputy Jim Baker of the Christian County Sheriff's Office. Good morning to you, Jim. How are you?
Good morning. Doing great. Thanks.
Glad to have you back around here this month and to tell us a little bit about last month and how it went and transition into a national week that we definitely would like to highlight. But Let's start with the month of April. Activity reports and everything the likes there.
Pretty much on track with the adjustment of spring coming on. Some things uptick and some things downtick. And we had 41 generated incident reports. We made 5 criminal arrests. Then 8 major traffic arrests. Typically, those are going to be your extremely high speed, or a lot of them are suspended and revoked drivers, but we had 8 of those. Made 5 warrant arrests, 5 DUIs. It was an extremely large month for paper services. I think we made 91 attempts with 76 civil paper services served. They done about 58 location checks. One of those are a vacation patrol request that somebody had requested on the app, and responded to 20 vehicle crashes. Lastly, we had 2 narcotics arrests and posted 1 road closure on the app for a semi that had rolled over on County 5. And lastly, in the month of April, we had our open house on the 18th, and that went off with great success. The public was pretty impressed with the new operations building there at 214 Market Street, and we're, like usual, it's time involved, but we're moving on to the next phase of the jail remodel, so we'll be diving into that as the months come.
With that jail remodel, that was going to be kind of moving some offices, making some space kind of more available.
Yeah, there again, we had to vacate, like my office and the sheriff's office, his office, and the deputies had to vacate the building so they could start utilizing those for increased booking area and medical observation and storage area. So we'll be moving forward with that in the near future. So
a lot of things happening in the month of April for you.
So, and then, of course, lastly, we've done an alcohol compliance check with the Illinois Liquor Commission. The Liquor Commission is required to do that annually. We participated in that, and it's basically ran and operated by the Liquor Commission. We are just on hand to issue any citations or fines, if you will, in non-compliance within the county. So we had to discuss that before we went on the air, and we checked 25, went to approximately 25 locations throughout the county. And, you know, the idea is just to deter underage serving of alcohol, and the Liquor Commission goes above and beyond. They do an annual inspection leading up to this. They inform in the months to come that they will be there to do these alcohol compliance checks, and they kind of give them an insight of what it is. Myself included, when you see, you know, you anticipate setting them up, you wonder if you're setting them up for failure, but it's not like it's a 20-year-old kid with a full beard that would be easily mistaken. They're pretty young looking. They get a male and a female. They send them in, and directly behind them, the Liquor Commission usually goes in. The officer of the Liquor Commission stands by, and for their safety, and then the county deputy will be outside in the parking lot. And what they do is they go up, they try and, you know, buy a drink over the counter. They are required to have an ID. The ID is an Illinois ID or driver's license that's vertical. It does say under the age of 21 until said date. And the way they would be out of compliance is if they go ahead and serve them after viewing that driver's license, or the failure to ask for it. So we had 4 that unfortunately was in violation that served alcohol. And with that, the fine basically was a notice to appear with a fine that the bartender would have to answer to. So
for 25 locations and 4 violations to come from them, is that obviously you don't want any, but would you say that's a pretty standard number when it comes to those?
Yeah,
checks?
if I compare it to like Taylorville or Pana, I think they always have 1 or 2, and a lot of times the bar owners do what they can, but then they put an employee in there, and it's on the failure of the employee, and it's just to try and, you know, educate to the business establishment owner as well as the employees, to be a little more vigilant about serving in the underage.
And the other thing too, where a lot of people might say, "Oh, well, you're trying to trap them." No, we've alerted you that these are coming. These are something to be aware of.
Yes.
I appreciate you explaining that back.
Yeah, I think they do a really good job about, they come in months ahead of time, they tell us that they're going to do on-site inspection of their liquor license. And then they tell those facilities or those establishments, hey, you can expect us in the next couple of months to be doing alcohol compliance checks. And like I said, it's everything they do to try and set them up for success. And unfortunately, there's, some that fail, and hopefully they get educated on it and we don't have that problem in a repeat pattern.
So, and the other thing I can appreciate is sending these decoys in that, as you mentioned, if you're 20 with a full beard, you might be looking like you're pushing 30, so
but no, I was relatively surprised at the just how young the individuals look. And then, like I said, to actually have the driver's license, and I don't know if it's just being a failure to really look at it or what, but they look at the license and then serve, and then you kind of question, it's like, well, and they're like, there's, obviously disagreements with it, but that's part of the process.
And I think everybody should know that a vertical ID means you're under 21. I think all of us that probably tried to use that a time or two before you were 21 probably know that too. So I think that's a pretty common knowledge type of piece to it as well.
Yep.
And then there was one other deal that you guys had in late April, early May, and that was a mock DUI crash. I know you had the one down in Pana,
yes,
but also one in Morrisonville. How'd that go for you?
So it went off really well. The participants done a great job, and I'm excited to let you know that basically both proms went off without any incidents and worked out really well. So hopefully that's a good educational process for them, and everybody seemed to really like the participants thought they got a lot out of it, and the students was very informed on it.
Did we have Big Tony come to this one as well?
Big Tony was, yes, he was there and spoke to him, and like I said, some schools are a little more engaged in questions, and they had some questions for him, and so I think they got quite a bit out of it.
That's cool, because that piece to it, having somebody that's experienced something.
Yeah. So for the listeners, Big Tony's an individual that was involved in a DUI crash when he was shortly out of high school, and as a passenger, and he speaks as an advocate on, alcohol related crashes to teenagers. So, and
just brings it all home a little bit. And, we all think we're invincible until a moment like that comes. And so I appreciate you filling us in on the month of April. And as we get into early May, middle of May here, it's a perfect time to have you in. I had been alerted to this earlier this week that it is National Police Officer Week from May 11th to 17th. So we got you pretty squarely in the middle of that. What are we doing for National Police Officer Week? Anything special going on?
Yeah. So additionally, every year it kicks off. You've got they recognize telecommunicators that we talked last month, and then it rolls into National Correction Officers Week, May 4th through the 10th, to recognize correction officers. But the big one is the National Police Officer Week. And the reason I say it's the big one, it's because National Police Officer Week recognizes those that are serving in the line of duty, as well as it's focuses a lot about memorial for the officers that gave the ultimate sacrifice. With that, they also include, as I attended a memorial service, that's a large event at the state capitol. It takes place every every first Thursday in May, and it's put on through multiple agencies: the state police, the sheriff's association, the Illinois Chiefs of Police, and there's probably 3,000 to 5,000 attendees. There's officers from all over the state, as well as it's open to the public. There's a church service that kicks it off, a parade for memorial of lost. It focuses solely around lost officers and a memorial in that. And with that, it was at the state capitol. This year, they recognized, unfortunately, 9 officers that fell in the line of duty in 2024. And for the first time, so they read those individuals' names, the family come up, received a memorial of those fallen officers. And then additionally, for the first time, they went back and read every fallen canine officer in the line of duty on record since the 70s up to 2024. And then they recognized the 3 canines that were killed in the line of duty in the state of Illinois. It was pretty insightful. And like I said, it's a well put together, and it just grows every year. They started out, it was really small. And this one, it seems every year the attendance and the growth of that event is pretty impressive. So, during that, they have speakers, legislation speakers that speak on behalf and give condolences and stuff like that. One of the big things this year was that one of the speakers read a poem, and the poem was written by Marlene Ritmanek that worked as a Bradley police officer. And 20 years earlier, as she got her career started in law enforcement, she wrote a poem depicting some dangers and that basically reads the commitment people put through in the line of duty. And one of that poem, we have time for that real quick. And
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So this officer that was killed in 2021 in the line of duty in Bradley, Illinois, 20 years earlier had wrote a poem, and it goes to say, the color we bleed is that of deep blue. The blood that is shed is without asking for who. No time to be afraid, no time to cry, no choice in what we do. Where we go or when we die, the color we bleed is that of deep blue. All too often, one will pay the ultimate price for those who wear the uniform accept this sacrifice. Beyond the call of duty, one day might be mine. No regrets, sorrow, or fear as I lock the blue line. The color I bleed is that of deep blue. So, in that ceremony, as they're reading that, it just hits home that 20 years earlier she had wrote this poem,
Right.
and then gave the ultimate sacrifice for her community.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting foreshadowing almost, and unfortunate foreshadowing almost. And yeah, that probably was a tough one to hear in person and see the families, and tough even just hearing it over the air at this moment. So, and you don't think about that every day, and you don't think about what these people are doing to keep you and your family safe. And so during National Police Officer Week, I appreciate you sharing that piece. And we'll go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, anybody that wants to read that, can get on there and type in Bradley Police Officer, the color I bleed blue poem, and they can read it.
Marlene Ritmanek was killed in the line of duty in 2021. And so for that poem to have been written 20 years prior, and then to really will probably hold true for a long time. That's a powerful piece there. So I appreciate you sharing that. And we are joined right now by Chief Deputy Jim Baker of the Christian County Sheriff's Office. He's told us about the month of May and some alcohol compliance checks, also a mock DUI crash that took place in Morrisonville, and that this week is National Police Officer Week and a ceremony that was held on Thursday, May 1st. We'll come back around and we'll talk more with Jim when we return on WTIM, your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
Here's Cousin Bill from Illinois Paving.
Attention business owners and property managers. Has winter damaged your parking lot? Are you tired of wasting money on a cheap fix that never lasts? Call Cousin Bill at Illinois Paving. We will answer the phone, show up for the estimate, execute the work. We provide asphalt patching, hot crack fill, polymerized dual seal coat, new asphalt install, multiple layered chip seal. Call today and get on the schedule to get your lot fixed right. ILPaving.com.
I'm Will Perkins, President and CEO of the Taylorville Community Credit Union. TCCU is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the Miller Media Group Community Spotlight, allowing a different nonprofit organization to be highlighted on WTIM, WMKR, and WRAN each month.
I am Terry Baker, Chairman of the Lincoln Prairie Trails Conservancy, a 501c3 founded to repair, maintain, promote, enhance, and expand the Lincoln Prairie Trail. Partnering with the communities of Taylorville, Pana, and Awanaco, nonprofits, donors, and non-governmental groups, we have been able to make many enhancements and repairs. Find us on the web at LincolnPrairieTrailsConservancy.com and Facebook at Lincoln Prairie Trails Conservancy. We hope to see you on the trail.
This is Cammie Payne, General Manager of the Miller Media Group. We, along with TCCU, are proud to bring you the Community Spotlight each month.
TCCU is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the Miller Media Group Community Spotlight. Come join us. You'll wonder why you waited. Member NCUA.
Your locally owned Scooters Coffee at routes 29 and 104 in Taylorville are proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the WTIM Tornado Give Back promotion. Scooters Coffee will donate the following to the Taylorville Sports Boosters. For each Tornado varsity football touchdown, they're donating $10. For each three-point shot in varsity Tornado boys and girls basketball games, they're donating $3. And $5 for each home run scored by varsity baseball and softball team. The 22 local Scooters Coffee Taylorville, thank you for your business. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast.
The skills you acquire in dealing with people throughout your school years will continue to serve you well for the rest of your life. No matter what your occupation, you will be working with others in some way. Having a positive, kind, and gracious attitude towards coworkers and clients will help you succeed wherever you go. Today, we congratulate our newest graduates, the class of 2025.
This Good Luck Grad message is brought to you by Loving Arms Pregnancy Center with locations in Taylorville and Pana. Hope, support, empowerment, every step of the way.
To learn more about Rolling Meadows Senior Living in Taylorville and the apartments they have available, click on their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Jansen's Heating and Air is the home of Dr. Comfort, focusing on customer care for heating and air conditioning across Central Illinois for some 35 years. Find out their services, specials, and coupons by clicking their icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining me in this segment is Chief Deputy Jim Baker of the Christian County Sheriff's Office. And we would like to talk a big loss to the department. 30 years of service is nothing too small, that's for sure. And 30 years in anything, especially police work, is a hefty amount. Lieutenant Steph Ryan and that loss to the department. What can you tell me there?
Yeah, so Steph Ryan was hired, I guess 30 years ago she worked her way up from dispatch, then became a correction officer, and then eventually put I don't know, probably 25 plus years on the road, maybe even more than that. Her total career was mainly spent on the road as a deputy, and she put 30 years committed to Christian County citizens as a deputy, and we wish her the best of luck and congratulating her on her 30 years of service to the county. So she's going to enjoy retirement and be some big shoes to fill for that replacement. So,
somebody that really knows the community and individuals. There's that familiarity that's lost as well. But to go from dispatch to corrections and then 25 plus years of being a deputy, that's an impressive resume for her.
Yes.
In that regard. When did she retire?
So she retired May 2nd was her last final call of, we call it the final call on the radio. And it was kind of unique. Her sister, who used to be the 911 coordinator, was able to come back in and transmit the radio when she gave her final call on the radio that she'd be off the air for the first time. So it was kind of neat that it was a family thing.
That is cool.
Yep.
So having your sister call you out for that last time is a unique way to wrap things up. After 30 years of service,
there were some choked up, you could hear it in their voice.
Did we throw like a little party type of thing?
Yes, we had a retirement party for her in-house potluck, and then of course we had her and her family put on a retirement party for where it was really neat to see. We had people that had been retired for 10 or 15 years from the office that showed up and supported her for her retirement, and we got to see different faces, the previous sheriff, just a really good reunion of the sheriff's office family.
All coming together for the right reason and for somebody that put in 30 years of service. And so it's been a few weeks of you guys really getting together and getting to kind of celebrate each other and also the work you do. So I love it as you make it into National Police Officer Week. There's one other big deal that you guys had, and so I'd love to be able to highlight that.
Yeah, so we took applications of almost 20 students throughout, I believe the total was 20 students throughout throughout Christian County that had applied for the Illinois Sheriff's Association scholarship award. That's a $500 scholarship that every year all 102 counties basically award a scholarship. And I'd like to congratulate Pana High School student Lily Roachus for applying and being awarded that grant. The thing to point out, that grant money is fully funded from people that are listening to the radio that are members of the Illinois Sheriff's Association. That money goes to education, advocates for legislation on behalf of the citizens of Christian County. When they join the Sheriff's Association, make their membership fee, then those fees are part of what funds anything from these scholarships to a representative going up and fighting things like disagreements in the Safety Act or new legislation or things of that nature that represent us as law enforcement as well as citizens of Christian County. So it's a really good association to be a part of.
That's a unique way to be able to use those membership fees. You don't always hear of stuff like that. Well,
yep.
Joining us in studio, Chief Deputy Jim Baker of the Christian County Sheriff's Office. As always, thank you for doing so.
Yep. I hope everybody has a safe and happy Memorial Day.
Sure do as well. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville.
Cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their time.